to go and touch that tomb without informing the family. If the claim by the family, especially by the brother, biological brother, is true, that they didn't inform them, Koku Anyido Coastal Development Authority, the presidency, or whoever has no right to touch that body or to desecrate that tomb without the permission of the family.
And also, what would amount to touching or desecrating the tomb?
Now, what has been done in the present circumstances, they have desecrated the tomb. He was given an official burial, and all and sundry were there and watched it. So if you're going to do anything, you have to let the family know. I was part of the team which went to Nkrovo, where the first president of the republic was buried. And it was at on the instructions of the former head of state, Colonel Ignatius Kutu Achampong. And the family said, the family made a request that the body, the head was facing the setting sun. So it must be turned. So we went there, and in the presence of the family, the casket was turned into its proper position before being taken later to the Nkrumah Mausoleum. The family was involved. In fact, it was the family who made the request. So if you are going to touch, it's a similar situation. If you're going to touch the casket or the tomb of our late President Atta Mills, if you have any good reason, you must first seek permission from the family. If it is true that the head of family is even not aware, then that is a very serious issue. We can suspect anything to have happened. Even if you take sand from that place,
sand,
you have desecrated the tomb.
If you take sand,
even if you collect sand from the tomb site, without the knowledge and approval of the family, you have gone against our culture and customs and traditions. And I don't know who gave that authority to Koku Anyido to be making such claims. And when the brother talks about it, you say that he must tell you how the former president died. Who are you? Why should anybody be answerable to you? When the family is making a complaint, you are an outsider. Whether you were his special assistant or not, you have no business in determining what happens to the body of their relation. I don't want to use any harsh words on him, but I think that he is going out of his bounds. That is Atta Mills Institute. You are not more Atta Mills than the family of Atta Mills. And Atta Mills is not just one person. It's a family name. So how come you, Koku Anyido, you will claim to love Atta Mills more than the family? Have you ever taken the trouble of finding out what happened to that MP? If you are being pushed, I don't want to believe you are being pushed, but you are behaving like somebody who is being pushed. You must behave yourself properly.
So, Osofo,
yes, sir.
Just by way of further education, if the state had decided to perhaps not even touch the grave, maybe erect something on the grave to make it look much more presentable, the family will have to know about it and be part of that whole process, know exactly what you are putting on the grave, how you are doing it.
You have to. The family must know. He was the president of the Republic of Ghana, fine, but he was not an individual. He came from a family. Whatever you're going to do with his grave or tomb or whatever is described, you must let the family know that, we want to modernize the tomb. That is fine. That is what they call in the diplomatic terms protocol. You have to let them know. You cannot get up and say because you are president of the republic, you can do whatever you like. You are guided by the constitution of the state. And whoever you are, you must also succumb to the constitution of the state. The constitution does not allow desecrating of tombs. That is my position.
You mentioned a grave site. In this case, the grave is located within the Asumdwe Park, which is a facility of the state. The state says it was redeveloping that whole facility. And of course, the grave is there. You
didn't inform them.
Actually, that is, I think, one of the things we will need is further clarification on this, because if you read a story that has been published by the publisher, they are claiming that the Atta Mills ceremony was part of the sword cutting. The Atta Mills family, the family, was part of the sword cutting ceremony to commence the Asumdwe Park redevelopment project. I don't know to what extent they were involved anyway. So I don't know, but can that development happen? And in what scope should that development take?
You talked about sword cutting for redevelopment.
Yes, please.
How are you redeveloping the tomb? By lifting out the casket, breaking down things which have already been developed. Who will have to come out with a clearer excuse? But from the unfolding events, the state or whoever carried out that exercise didn't do the correct thing. Culturally, it was wrong. Our society does not approve of such behaviors. We don't want to say that they have taken any part of the body for any ritual purposes. But what they have done gives room for suspicion. And they will have to come out and give us a clearer understanding and apologize for doing something which is culturally in an African setting is never done. It's a taboo. So when you have engaged in some illegal act, you can use all the state excuses. You don't erase that one. You have done something wrong. And I would like to sound this message to Koku Anidoho that he does not love Atta Mills more than any other person in this country or anywhere else. So he should just keep his mouth shut.
But I also want to find out, maybe this is the last issue I raised, and I raised the issue about how this should be resolved. General education. Why can't I, for example, I'm a very good friend of my friend, my colleague here in the studio, Afewa. The two of us are very close. So I don't want to say Afewa has something. So imagine if he had passed on.
Yes.
God forbid, though. Morgan forbid. And his grave is there, and I decide to do some work on the grave. Maybe improve it a little bit. And I do it without informing the family. Why can't I do that?
How can you? How can you do that without informing the family?
He's my very good friend. I'm only just
Your very
improving.
Good friend. That's where it stops. Your friendship ends with the whole equation. He belongs to a family. The family must constantly be kept abreast with what is happening. We know of these ritual murders taking place. We know of all these negative developments. Politicians using body parts of others to achieve their parochial aims. So we should not just toy with it. What has been done is wrong. We must admit is wrong. Koku Anidoho and his Atta Mills Institute cannot justify a wrong action. Finish. If someone in the studio is your friend and that friend passes away, you can't bury that friend without informing the family. You are aware of that one. And whatever approval has been given to you, whatever you want to do thereafter, you must let the family know. If the family does not know, you have no right to do anything. Our culture does not stomach some of these irresponsible actions.
Okay. Osofo, thank you very much for sharing this thought with us this morning.
Thank you for thanking me.
Osofo Kofitse Ahadzi is a cultural anthropologist and a divine priest of Reformed Africania Mission, speaking to us on this whole development. We'll go back to exactly what the brother of the former president said.
Grave of President John Evans Atta Mills, my older brother, and from the same father, the same mother with him. Apparently, a group calling itself Atta Mills Institute that the family doesn't recognize, and Coastal Development Authority have gone to break this grave of President John Evans Atta Mills. They have removed the tomb, and what they've done is they claim that they are rebuilding it. Now, my question is this: we have traditions. Why would you go and touch somebody's grave without informing the family? Now, the question I want to ask is this: now that you've gone to touch it, is the body still in that grave? What did you put in that grave? What kind of rituals did you perform over there? Why would you go and touch the grave without informing us? Who has the body now? And that is a question that I want to ask Ghanaians. Who has the body now? Coastal Development Authority. Under whose authority did you do this? Why do you always want to make us go through grief every time? Now you allow someone like Koko and Idaho, that working with Atta Mills Institute, so-called, to go and touch this grave without informing our family head. This is a former president. Why would the government allow this to happen? This is an insult to the family. This is an insult to we, the Akans. This is an insult to the nation. My goodness. Now, the government allows an NGO to run Asomdwe Park. The government allows an NGO with Coastal Development Authority to handle the remains of President John Evans Atta Mills. Why don't we send another NGO to go and run Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum? Now, let me tell you, President Atta Mills is not the only president who has passed away in Ghana. Other presidents have passed away. Get ready. Other NGOs are going to run your graves, you the presidents. Those former and those living right now. NGOs are going to run your graves. Now, it's a very serious thing. I try not to talk too much about it, but the government has to provide the body of President John Evans Atta Mills. We want to find out where the body is. What have you done with it? What kind of rituals did you perform over there? Now, when cases start coming after you, don't blame anybody. Is national security aware of this nonsense going on? Is national security aware of this nonsense going on? Who in the government is authorizing this nonsense? IGP Dampari, you were the ADC of President John Evans Atta Mills. If somebody goes to Osu Cemetery to desecrate a grave, wouldn't you go and arrest that person? You sit down in a former president's grave. Somebody goes to destroy it. This is a disgrace. This is a disgrace. This Sunday, we plan on going there for our 10th anniversary. to lay some wreaths out there. Is that what you are doing to us? Is that what you are doing to us? Now, is this country actually worth dying for? Is this country actually worth dying for? Has everything now turned into politics? Has this thing now turned into politics? Now, if you're a president, know that you wouldn't live forever. If you're a president, you should know you are not going to live forever.
Grave look like us at today when we visited the place. I've been sad, I've cried since morning. You could see from my eyes. Because renovating the place do not call for this desecration. And you can't do anything like that without informing and notifying the family. Because our customs and tradition as Ghanaians demands that if you are doing such a thing, a family member must be present.
Well, so that's the press conference. It was also addressed by the brother of the former president. Don't forget, this involves a 4.4 million.
40 billion or 44
yes,
billion.
4.4 million cities redevelopment of that Sumdwe Park. But exactly what did they see that has gotten them angry? Good morning to you. We are joined by Honorable Samuel Atta. He's a member of parliament for KEEA. Thank you for your time and a good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am well. Yesterday, listening to you, you seem angry. In fact, from the voice I was playing, some of the words you used to describe one of the key architects of this, some of the media houses had to edit those words out.
Yes, sir.
What angered you? Exactly what did you say?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners, your cherished listeners. I'm a blood brother of Professor John Evans Atta Mills. I need to emphasize that we are from the same mother, father. But there's someone parading around that he's more Atta Mills than us. So he has gone to form this institute with the name Atta Mills for them. But we, as family members, do not record. But we realize that he's a hungry boy. Ever since he doesn't have any means of any livelihood. He's just making a living out of the name, collecting money, whatever. We've allowed you to do it. But you can do whatever you want, but don't go and touch the tomb. The sad part is this. You are going to touch somebody's grave. You are going to touch somebody's grave. Now, that park belongs to national security. They can go there and do any kind of renovation, whatever they want to do. That's fine. But once you are going to touch the grave, we have tradition. We have custom. Can you go and touch anybody's grave without recourse to their family? We need to get our opinion around. So we go out there. Part of the preparation for us to go and celebrate commemorate his 10-year anniversary of passing. And we'll go there and the tomb has been removed. Who did it?
Tomb removed.
Tomb removed.
Okay. Are you talking about the casket and everything taken out?
Now, when I talk about the tomb, I'm talking about even the top of it. And we don't know what else they did with the casket or whatever they did in the grave.
Oh.
You see, this is where, before you touch anybody's grave, you inform the family. There are some traditions, there are some customs, libations, so many things to be done. And then after they've done that, sometimes they will slaughter a sheep or something, depends on what your customs are. And then they will assign a family member to be there with you 24 hours to make sure that nobody tampers with the body or the casket. Was this done? Whom did they inform? who was there in the interest of the family. Now, isn't that annoying? Now he claims he's doing this with Coastal Development Authority. My goodness. Is that how it is? Now, it's NGOs that we allow for them to bury presidents or renovate presidential cemeteries. When former President Jerry Rawlings died, did they give the body to an NGO to go and bury it? And the question I asked yesterday was, President Akufo Addo, Your Excellency, your father was the president. How would you feel if an NGO goes to break the tomb and starts to even if you were going to remodel it with gold? Would you be happy with that? None of that was done. Hello.
Yes. So first one, let me maybe take it a bit back, because I'm reading a story from the publisher where they said that in July 2020, that's 2 years back,
Yeah.
it was announced that there was going to be a redevelopment, a 4.4 million redevelopment of the Asumdwe Park. There was a sword cutting to that effect. And they said your family was represented at the sword cutting.
By
Is that
who?
accurate?
By who?
Okay.
Which family member?
Okay. They later said that there were wreath laid, and one of the people who laid the wreath on behalf of the family is the son.
Look, we are Akan. The son does not represent the family. We are Akan. The son does not represent the family. He belongs to his mother's family. That is how Akan it is. Every family has a busuya penny. Every family has an ebusuya penny, whether you are patrilineal or matrilineal. Oh, so you are at home. You are a father, and your 3 or 4 year old boy is there. Can I ask your 3 or 4 year old boy if I could get into your room and take whatever I want? Because your son is your family. Isn't that what you are saying? My goodness. What kind of country are we running? Is that how it's done? You inform the Busia Penny. You inform the Busia Penny.
So you're saying you were never properly informed of this redevelopment and what shape it will take? The family.
Nobody there. Coastal Development or whatever it is, or that guy who owns that NGO that no family member recognizes. Nobody. Is that how we notify people? Is that how we notify people? You see, we need to do things right. We have customs and traditions. You see, if Koko Ayido wants a father, he needs to go and look for one. Leave Professor Mills to rest in peace. If we are hungry, we've allowed you to, profit around that name for some time. Now it's time that we stop you. And we are going to stop you traditionally. We are going to stop you legally. And any other means necessary. Do you know how many insults we get as family that we've allowed this guy to be doing what he's doing? He has the effrontery to insult us, the family, NDC, President Muhammad on his tweet. My goodness.
And isn't that the laxitude that the family has allowed?
There you
that
go.
Perhaps he's exploiting.
There you go. You see, so many things he did on the blind side of the family. It was later on that we found out that he had gone to do this Atta Mills Institute thing. what the family, including so many prominent people and well-meaning, thinking people have done is we've set up the J.E.A. Mills Memorial Heritage. That is what we are doing to promote President Mills and his ideals and political life and so many things. Now, he says he invited the family. Oh, is that the son that you are using? The son that as an account belongs to his mother's family? There are some things that I don't want to say this morning, and isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? You go and remove the tomb. We don't know what else you did in there. Did you remove the casket? Did you touch the body? Or did you insert something into the grave that we don't know about? Look, we would deal with him traditionally. We would deal with him legally. If he doesn't have parents to advise him, or if they advise you in the house and you don't listen, we will advise you outside. You don't go and touch somebody's grave without any report. I'm sad. I am so sad. This peaceful man, his only crime, Professor John Evans Atta Mills, his only crime is to employ you, Koko Idaho, a hungry, struggling guy. He gave you a simple position, and look at where you are going. You give a leper a handshake. Now he wants a full embrace. This is what he's doing. He's profiting around it. But I want to find out the people behind him. I want to find out the people who in the government allowed him to do what he's doing. And the other crime is, when did we allow an NGO to use a code of arms to be inviting people to a function like this? Read some of his tweets. And it smacks of somebody who may not be all the way upstairs.
May not be all the way upstairs.
Yes, sir.
What are you suggesting that?
What I'm suggesting is an idiot.
But your questions that you ask, because this is you, and I'm sure when he was buried, you allowed that to happen at the Asumdwe Park as part of an agreement with the state.
What kind of agreement?
That's why I'm asking you. Okay, so maybe perhaps you allowed your brother to be buried in Adasumdwe Park instead of perhaps taking home and being properly buried. What was the arrangement? What was the agreement?
But that whatever so-called arrangement you may be talking about, it doesn't include mutilating the grave. Can I form an NGO right now and go and remove President Nkrumah's grave? Or go and change it because I don't like the way that is done, so I want to redesign it. Can I do that? Can I do that? And this is allowed? I am sure, 100% sure, that His Excellency President Akufo Addo will not associate himself with that group. And I'm sure that he will not show up at Asumdwe Park on the time they are going to do it. We have our program 1 o'clock Asumdwe Park on Sunday. Tomorrow will be Big Brother's birthday, and then Sunday will be the anniversary for his the wreath laying, 10 years that the good Lord called him. Tuesday we are going to have a memorial speech at International Conference Center, and the speech being delivered by my own senior, several years my senior, Chachu Chekasa. And the chairman of the occasion is Nana Akufo, who is the Omahini of New York. When we have aligned prominent people like that, and you sit down for this boy to do what he's doing, and every time what we get is, oh, the family allowed it to happen. The family allowed it to happen. We do not allow it to happen. This is somebody who is, and I better not use those words. I better not use those words. Somebody who is uncouth. Somebody who is uncouth for him to take possession of that. What about those people who work with Professor Mills much longer? It was Neil and Vanderpool and Ludwig Trojan who brought you up. Who brought you there? Oh, is this what Ghana has gotten to now? Now, those officials are coastal subordinate authorities. I hope and I wish they were born by human beings. How would they feel somebody went to their mother's or father's grave or their uncle's grave to touch it without informing them? Do you know how many cows and sheep you would sacrifice? My God.
How much of the questions you are raising would you direct to the state?
I'm directing all of it because this 4 point whatever million that you are talking about, that is not the money that we are talking about. So who's financing it? And aren't there proper ways of financing stuff? Don't you go through processes? Don't you inform people? Look, they could be, painting that place with gold. That is not my issue. My issue is, before you touch the body, inform us, the family. We have our part to play. Now, this boy, what would he do if we remove the body and took it home to Cape Coast? What would he do? What would he do?
Are you considering that?
Sir, everything is on the table.
You're considering taking back your body and taking to home?
If the state, let me make it practical here. If the state, national security owns that place, if the state that is entrusted with the body of Professor John Evans Atta Mills will not sit down and maintain it and allow an NGO with no family backing to be the one calling the shots over there, our option, we have a wide array of options.
Well, Honorable Samuel Atta Mills, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you.
And
God bless you all.
Yeah. We'll be in touch.
Thank you very much, sir.
He is the blood brother of the late former president, Atta Mills. He's also a member of parliament, but very important. He's the blood brother, same father, same mother. And it's the first time I've heard him speak with such anger on this issue. Yes, the first time. So, Afrewa, I think you should start. Okay, before you come in, we are making frantic efforts to speak to Mr. Koko Anyidoho, who is in charge of the Atta Mills Institute. As and when we get him, we would have a conversation with him, ask him what he knows about this and what has happened. Afrewa.
Enti abusia yegusua yeti enkonwa so na ade achi bia asemfufuro esi Awurade Nyankopon boan ye o my Ghana na ene anope yeda esore ya na ese enkomwa bobo fi enra eba ya eni se enra mrasebedwani wono eye mrasebedwani ba de se ne amanfo a womo ewo eye commander Edina Egwafo Ebrem constituency mrasebedwani enra